So students, today we are going to start with the third chapter, the next chapter, which is the electric potential. So till now we have studied the electric field. All the topics they were related to finding the electric field. So that electric field was due to a point charge. It can be due to a distribution of charge. That is, it can be due to a line charge, or it can be a surface charge density, or it can be a volume charge. Now we are going to see what is electric potential, and this is related to electric field. First of all, we will see what is the line integral of electric field. So we are well aware of what is electric field. Now we are going to find the line integral of electric field, and we will see what the line integral of electric field represents. So what is the representation? So what does the line integral of electric field means? So what it gives, what is the physical significance of line integral of electric field? So line integral of electric field is nothing but vector E dot product with dl vector with its line integration. So with the line integral of electric field is nothing but integration of vector E dot product with dl vector, where dl vector is nothing but the small displacement. It is the small length element. So electric field, so E vector, it is the electric field, and we will see what is electric potential from this whole concept. First of all, we are going to take a source charge which is placed at the origin. So plus Q is the source charge which is placed at the origin. So we have x-axis, y-axis and the z-axis. Now we are placing a test charge Q0 or Q0 is placed at point P. Let's say this is the observation point, and let's say this point is represented by P. So charge Q0 is placed at this observation point. So Q0 charge is placed at point P. Now there is a source charge, and hence due to the source charge, due to the presence of this source charge, there will be electric field present all over the space around the source charge. So there will be some electric field at this point as well. So that electric field will be due to this source charge. So there will be some amount of electric field which will be present at this point P, and that will be due to the source charge plus Q. So therefore, if let's say at this point the electric field due to the source charge plus Q, it is in this direction. So let's say it is in this direction, and that is represented by E vector. So E vector is the electric field due to the source charge at point P, where Q0 test charge is placed. So P point is nothing but the position of the test charge Q0. Now what will be the force that will act on the test charge Q0? So what will be the force that will act on this charge? That will be nothing but the charge, magnitude of the charge, times the electric field which is experienced by this charge Q0. So force that will act on this test charge will be nothing but the charge, amount of charge, into the electric field which is experienced by this charge. So this multiplication will give us the force that will act on this test charge. Now if force is acting on this test charge, so let's say this is a positive source charge and this is also a positive test charge. So the force, due to the presence of this force, due to this force F vector, there will be a repulsive force, that is this charge will get repelled away from this source charge. So there will be the motion of the charge Q0 in this direction. The force will act in this particular direction, therefore the charge, it will tend to move in this direction, that is along the electric field strength. But now to keep this charge stationary, to keep this test charge stationary, we have to apply the same force in the opposite direction. Now F vector is the force which is acted upon this test charge by the source charge, and due to this force there will be repulsion between plus q and q0 charge, and hence this charge, test charge q0, it will tend to move away from the source charge. So to keep this test charge stationary, we have to apply the equal and opposite force. So same force has to be applied, but it must be applied in the opposite direction so that this charge can be made stationary. So to keep q0 in equilibrium, minus F vector. So F vector is the force which is acted upon the test charge by the source charge. But to keep this test charge stationary, we have to apply negative of this force. It must be applied on the test charge. So this is the external force that must be applied. Now the q0 charge is made to move a distance of dl vector. So this q0 charge, let's say it is allowed to move in this direction. So let's say this length is equal to dl vector. So this charge q0 which was placed over here at point P, so now this charge is allowed to move in this direction, and what force will be responsible for the movement? It will be minus F vector. So with the help of this external force, we will move this charge q0 from this point to this point, and the displacement is dl vector. So q0 test charge is displaced by dl vector due to with the help of minus F vector, which is the external force. So displacement will be dl vector. Now what will be the work done in this case? So to move this test charge q0 from this point to this point, so what will be the work done? So that work done is represented by dw, which is the small work done to move a small displacement. So work is nothing but work is given by force vector dot displacement vector. Here the force vector in this case is minus F vector, because minus F vector must be applied so that the charge q0 it can be made in equilibrium. It can be placed in equilibrium so that it does not move. Now the test charge is allowed to move a certain distance dl vector, a certain displacement which is dl vector, and with what force we will be able to move this test charge? So we have to apply minus F vector, and then we will move this test charge with this displacement dl vector. So what will be the force that will be done by this? The work that will be done by this force will be force dot displacement. Now what is the force in this case? It is minus F vector, because with the help of minus F vector we are able to move this test charge from this point to this point. And displacement vector is nothing but dl vector. So what will be the small work done in this case? It will be the force. Now what is the force? It is minus F vector dot product with the displacement vector, which is dl vector. So now what is force F vector? F vector is nothing but q0 into E vector. So minus, it will remain as it is. So q0, it is a scalar, so it can be taken outside the dot product, and what we will have? E vector dot product with dl vector. So we will just be left with E vector dot product with dl vector. So here we have just inserted the expression of F vector, which is q0 into E vector. So therefore we will get minus q0. So this is a scalar, and we will get a dot product of E vector and dl vector. Now we are interested in finding the total work done. So this is just the small work done to move this test charge by a small displacement. But let's say the point P, it is actually moved along a path. Let's say that is this path. The point, initial starting point is A, and the final point is capital B. So we are interested in finding the total work done by the force when the charge q0, it is made to move along a path from A to B point. So what will be the work done in that case? It will be nothing but the integration of dw. It will be nothing but the integration of dw. And what will be the integration of dw? It will be What will be the limits? It will be from capital A to capital B. So initial point is A and final point is B. So we will do the integration from the initial to the final point. So total work done to move a test charge in the presence of the electric field due to another source charge. So what is the work done to move this test charge from one point to another? It is nothing but the integration of the small work done to move this test charge by a small displacement. So we have to do integration over dw. Now what is dw? It is, we have just solved what is dw. It is minus q0 E vector dot dl vector. So we will just put over here. Now minus q0, it can be taken outside the integral. So it will be minus q0 into integration of E vector dot dl vector. Now over here we have dl vector, which is the displacement, and the charge, test charge, it is displaced from A point to capital B point. So the total work done from the initial to the final point will be minus q0 into integration of E vector dot product with dl vector, and the integration limits will be from capital A to capital B. So this formula, on solving this formula, you will be able to get the total work done to move a test charge q0 in the presence of electric field from A point to B point. Now this was the case for a test charge with magnitude q0. So magnitude of the charge was q0. Now what if the charge, test charge, it has a unit magnitude? So the magnitude is 1 unit. So work done to displace a unit charge. So this was the work done to displace a test charge q0 from A point to B point. Now the work done to displace a unit charge in the electric field. So in this case we are talking about a special case where we have a unit charge. So the magnitude of the charge is unit, 1 unit, that is q0 is equal to 1. So in this formula we will put q0 is equal to 1. So what will be the work done to move a unit test charge from A point to B point? So that will be minus integration of E vector dot product with dl vector, and integration limits will be from A to B. So from this formula we can say that the line integral of the electric field, from one point to another point of the path gives us the work done to move a positive test charge, to move a positive unit test charge from along that path. So I am repeating over here, what is the significance of line integral? So in the starting of the article, we have said that we are going to find what is the physical significance of line integral of electric field. And in this formula we have found that work done to move a test charge, to move a unit test charge from A to B point is equal to minus of the integration of E dot dl from A to B point. So this is nothing but this right hand side is nothing but the line integral of the electric field. So this is nothing but line integral of the electric field, and this expression line integral of electric field, it gives us the work done to move a unit test charge along that path. So line integral of electric field along a particular path, it gives us the work done to move a unit test charge along that path. So line integral of electric field along a certain path. So line integral of electric field along a certain path, that is from A to B, is defined as the work done by the field. So work is done by the field. So work done by the field, that is the electric field, in moving a unit positive charge along that path. So we have to move the unit test charge, unit positive test charge along that path. So that is the physical significance of line integral of electric field. So students, you have to just remember that the expression of work done to move a unit positive test charge from one point to another point that is given by minus of integration of E vector dot dl vector. So this is the work done to move a unit positive test charge from A to B point, that is equal to minus of integration of E dot dl from A to B point. So this formula you have to remember for the further derivations. Now we are going to see the conservative nature of electric field. So we are going to prove that electric field is a conservative field. Now what is a conservative field? Any field is called as a conservative field if its line integral, if the line integral of such field is independent of the path chosen. So line integral of any vector field. So let's say if I am talking about A vector. So this is a vector field. So when this A vector will be called as a conservative field, it will be called as a conservative field if the line integral, that is A vector dot dl vector with its integration, if the line integral of this vector field along from a particular point, starting point to a final point, from a starting point to a particular final point, if the line integral is independent of the path chosen. So let's say this is A point and this is B point, and you are doing the line integral over this path from A to B point. Let's say you are doing the line integral of A vector from A point to B point, and similarly you can also do the line integral along this path, which is a straight line. So you can do the line integration of A vector from A to B point along this second path. Now the field A vector, it will be called as a conservative field if the line integral of that vector field is independent of the paths you are using, provided that the initial and the final points, they are the same. So if the initial and the final endpoint is same, then the line integral of that vector field will be independent of the path chosen by you. So that type of field will be called as conservative field. So line integral of such fields, that is line integral of such field is independent of path chosen, and it depends only upon the starting and the end points. So a field is called as a conservative field if its line integration is independent of the path, as well as it depends upon only the starting and the end points. Now here we are going to prove in this article that electric field, which is a vector field, so electric field is also a conservative field. That is, we are about to prove that the line integral of electric field, the line integral of E vector from one to another point is independent of the path chosen. So example of conservative field is electric field vector, and we are going to prove the conservative nature of electric field in just few minutes. So to prove this, first of all, we are considering a source charge at the origin of the coordinate system. And this is the x-axis, y-axis and the z-axis. So the source charge, it is placed at the origin of the coordinate system. So due to the presence of this source charge, there will be present electric field in the whole space around that charge. So electric field at P point. So we are considering an observation point P point. So first of all, we are going to see what will be the electric field at P due to the source charge plus Q. So what will be the electric field at P? So that will depend upon the distance of the observation point from the source charge. So let's say this distance is equal to small r. So this direction will be nothing but r cap. The radial direction is nothing but r cap. So what will be the electric field at P point due to this source charge? It will be nothing but 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So we are using the Coulomb's law. So electric field due to this source charge at point P will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q, that is the source charge, divide by the distance, square of the distance, that is r square, times r cap. So this is the electric field at P point. So let's say this is E vector. Now this is the starting point and this is the end point of the line. This is any random line. So this is the starting point A and this is the end point B. Now what is the position vector of starting point? So position vector is the vector from the origin to the particular point which we are going to talk about. So OA vector is the position vector of the starting point. Let's say that is RA vector. And the position vector of the end point, this vector, let's say that is RB vector. So OA vector is RA vector, OA vector is RA vector, OB vector is RB vector, and this OP vector. So P is any random observation point which we are taking on this line. So what will be OP vector? OP vector is nothing but the position vector of the observation point, and that is R vector, small r vector. So here we are going to see what will be the line integration. So we have to prove the line integration of electric field is independent of the path. So to prove that, we have to first of all solve what is the line integration of electric field. So line integration, so we are just taking E vector dot dl. We are not taking the integration. So we will take integration after a few steps, but here we are just considering E vector dot dl vector. So it is the dot product of electric field and the dl vector. So we are just taking this quantity inside the integration. So this quantity which is inside the integration, so we are just solving this quantity. So E vector dot dl vector. Now this is the observation point. Let's say you are moving along this direction. So you are moving from A point to B point. So at this observation point, this small displacement will be in this direction. So let's say that point is L. So you are moving you are displacing by a small displacement and you are reaching this point capital L. So this PL distance will be, PL vector will be dl vector and magnitude of this displacement will be dl. So the vector is dl vector and its magnitude will be just dl. So electric field dot product with dl vector. So what is electric field at point P? So that is nothing but 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square into R cap dot product with dl. It will remain as it is. So this is the electric field vector at point P and this is the small displacement at point P. Now this scalar quantity, it can be taken outside. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square will remain as it is and you will be just left with R cap dot product with dl vector. That is, we have R cap dot product with dl vector. Now this is the dl vector and this is the R cap. So let's say the angle between dl vector and R cap is equal to theta. So it can be any angle, it can be 90 degree, it can be 0 degree, but we are taking a random angle of dl vector with the R cap. Let's say that is theta. At point P, the angle between R cap and the dl vector is theta. So R cap dot product with dl vector will be magnitude of R into magnitude of dl into cos of theta. So that will be nothing but dl cos theta because the magnitude of R cap is 1 because this is a unit vector. So R cap dot dl vector will be equal to dl cos theta. So therefore R cap dot dl vector, it has been replaced by dl cos theta. Now we are going to take a small triangle. So we are going to use the trigonometry. So we will draw a perpendicular from L point on this R cap. So we are drawing a perpendicular from L point on this R cap direction. Let's say this point is capital M. So this perpendicular, it touches the R cap direction at point M. So what will be this distance? This small distance PM, it is the distance, small displacement along R cap. So PM is nothing but the small displacement along R cap. And what is the small length element along R cap? So that is written by dr vector. So dr vector is the small displacement along R cap. So this PM length, this vector will be dr vector. So this pm vector will be dr vector and this pl vector will be dl vector, and we have drawn a perpendicular from L point to M point. So now I have drawn this triangle on this side. So this is PL, and what is the length PL? It is equal to DL, and this is PM length, and what it is DR, and this is the perpendicular which we have drawn. So in this right angle triangle, first of all we will use the trigonometry equation. Now this angle which we have already written, the angle between r cap and dl vector, so this angle is theta. So now we are going to see what is dl cos theta. So we have to first of all find what is cos theta. So cos theta in this right angle triangle, so what is cos theta? It is base upon hypotenuse. So you are taking cos theta of this angle, cos of this particular angle. So cos of this particular angle will be base upon hypotenuse. Now what is base? It is PM, and what is hypotenuse? It is PL, because this is the perpendicular. Opposite to the 90 degree is the hypotenuse, and the angle which the length with which the angle touches, it is the base. So this is the base and this is the hypotenuse. So cos theta from this will be equal to base upon hypotenuse. So what is base? It is dr divided by hypotenuse, that is dl. So cos theta will be written as dr divided by dl. So from here dr can be taken on the left hand side. So what will be dr? It will be dl cos theta. So this dl cos theta is equal to dr. So in this equation, in this last equation, E vector dot dl. So E vector dot dl, it came out to be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square into dl cos theta. So we will just replace dl cos theta, this dl cos theta, by dr. So we will just replace over here this term by dr. So E vector dot dl vector, E vector dot dl vector will be nothing but 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. It will be nothing but 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square into dr. So that will be q by 4 pi epsilon naught 1 by r square into dr. So this is the final expression of E vector dot dl vector. Now we are interested to find the line integration. So we are interested to find the line integral of E vector dot dl, and we have to prove that this line integration of E vector dot dl vector is independent of the path chosen. So first of all we have to do its integration from A point to B point, that is from the starting to the end point. So now we are going to find what is E vector dot dl vector and its integration from A to B point. So first of all we will put the expression of E vector dot dl vector. So we will get A to B integration, and what is E dot dl vector? It is q by 4 pi epsilon naught dr divided by r square. So that is nothing but E dot dl vector. Now q by 4 pi epsilon naught, it can be taken outside the integration. With integration from A to B, dr divided by r square. So r is a variable, so r square cannot be taken outside the integral. So inside the integral you will have dr divided by r square. So now we will solve this integration. Here we have 1 by r square, that is we have 1 by x square. So you will solve this integration, you will get q by 4 pi epsilon naught minus 1 by r with its integration. Now here we will replace the integrals. We will replace the limits of integration. So here we have dr. So this is the variable, r is the variable. So what is the lower limit of r? So this is r. So what is the lower limit of r? It is equal to ra. And what is the upper limit of r? It is the end point. So the upper limit of r will be rb. So lower limit over here, when you have changed the E dot dl in terms of dr, then you have to change the limits also. So the lower limit will be ra and upper limit will be rb. So here also you will have ra and here you will have rb. So on solving this integration, you will get minus 1 divided by r, and its limits will be from ra to rb. So on solving, you will get the line integration. This left hand side will remain as it is. So line integration of E dot dl from A to B point, that will come out to be equal to, so when you will put the upper limit as well as you will put the lower limit, so you will get Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught 1 divided by R A minus 1 divided by R B. So you can put the upper limit first and then you will put the lower limit, so you will get this particular result. So you can clearly see that the line integration of E vector, it is independent of the path chosen. So it just depends upon the starting point and the end point. So there is no dependence upon the path which is chosen. So we can choose any random path. But over here we have to see that this line integration, it depends upon only the starting and the end point, and it is independent of the path which is chosen. So therefore, hence the line integral E vector is independent of the path, hence electric field vector. So this line integration is of electric field, hence this electric field vector, it is a conservative field. So with this article we have proved that the electric field vector, it is a conservative field. So it is an example of